No problem, Katerina. Let's see what's going on here. Let's have a look. I might have to restart this. Can you hear me now? Right, I think we're back on now. Can you hear me? I hope you can hear me. Very good, Katerina. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. I'd actually lost my thread actually when you called there to tell you couldn't hear me. What I was saying basically is that obviously we've had a very volatile day yesterday, particularly Canadian Lumini here, the Canadian dollar. Up and then down, gapping all over the place. Tariffs were on. Tariffs had been delayed for a month because they moved troops down to the border, which is what Trump had wanted. They were going to do that anyway. Same with Mexico earlier in the day. Mexico, the president there had agreed to move more troops up to the border, the southern border. Sorry, what I was saying when I was flying my arms around was basically, these political sort of shots that come in from the side do affect, obviously, markets, do affect what we're doing as traders, but you've got to have a strategy to see through all of that. Obviously, yesterday we were, if we just go back to the pound, yesterday we were, if I go to the, I should just go back to my, I don't want to make a copy, cancel that. Where we put it was this one, wasn't it? Just go back to the daily time frame from Friday. Let's go back to Friday where we had this short position on Friday night, and massive move here, a massive gap down. It went straight through our target, and we were filled beyond our target because of what happened on Sunday night when we opened. But by the end of the day, that sterling had recovered all of that. There'd been a change in tone from Trump. The Mexican and the Canadian deal was back off for a month, and sterling ended up for the day, having gapped all the way down here to 122.50. At one point, our initial target was here at 123.50, and we were filled. I can't remember what the actual numbers, but we were filled beyond our first target, and we closed it out. Actually closed it out yesterday for a bit of a loss, the second bit, didn't we? But again, we got long today, and this is looking to go long tonight. We'll have a look at potential long trades tonight. This is looking quite positive on my little strategy over here on this other workstation. So, sorry, my point was what Trump has brought with this new regime is the volatility to the markets and firing from the hip. So, and I say none more so than dollar CAD, as we've seen it. There you go. CAD's even better example, isn't it? Massive volatility yesterday, and we're down again today. But we went as high as 120, 147, 148 zone at one point yesterday. But we're down, and we're down again today into the 50-day moving average, in fact, at 143. So huge move for dollar CAD over the last couple of days. Tariffs on, tariffs off for 30 days. And similar, and then overnight, what we've seen is the situation with China. Blanket 10% tariffs from the US on all Chinese imports. Huge sort of trade deficit with China and Americans. But that's all down to the American public wanting to buy these products, wanting to buy products not necessarily direct from China, but China input products. And so it's going to be the US consumer that ends up paying for this, if indeed they actually bite. They didn't really bite last time. There was lots of talk about it last time. Lots of obviously impacts of COVID that then hit the supply chains, and that had much bigger of an impact than these tariffs. So we'll see actually what really happens as far as the impact on the economy as we go forward. Remember, it's only literally 2 weeks since he's been sat at the in the Oval Office. So and lots of tirade of news following out. So anyway, where was I? Yeah, so dollar CAD moved obviously CAD moved a lot. The Mexican peso moved massively as well. And so where are we? What's happened now? Well, at the moment, Xi Jinping and Trump were supposed to speak today. That isn't happening now by the looks of things, because he's got to see Netanyahu. Netanyahu's going to be the first visitor to the White House in the next couple of hours. So focus will remain on Washington until all of this noise starts to cool down. His cabinet is being ratified. His health secretary, John Kennedy Jr., got the okay today. Tulsi Gabbard, the one that was she switched from Democrats to the Republicans, she's due to get rubber stamped again today, and she was the one that was very much perhaps unlike the one least likely to get the rubber stamping from the process. But most people that go up for the process do actually get into cabinet. So it looks like Trump's going to get the cabinet he wanted. And obviously outside of that is Mr. Musk sitting in the presidency. So anyway, where are we with all of this noise? Well, the dollar remains relatively strong. It's cooled off in the last couple of days. Yields have cooled down a wee bit, and stock markets, indices, stock markets have bounced back. It's bounced back. It's not really the case. We had bounced back yesterday. We just haven't followed through today. Basically, these are daily candles here on the Dow. So a huge gap on opening yesterday, but we closed positively, crumbed those back, and we're sort of flat for the day into somewhat negative territory. S&P 500 is a similar sort of setup. Actually, that's turned positive since I last looked. And the Nasdaq is also a little bit positive as well, so limping back up. Alphabet is the big company reporting earnings tonight. So just going back to today and today's calendar, the main news today has been the why hasn't that got Tuesday? Oh, I'll have to refresh it. Main news today was we had two members of the Fed speaking, Bostic and Daly. Daly was a big sort of dove on and has been for a while, but they're both now very much in line with the noise coming out of the Fed that we are still looking to cut, but not anything like what we were looking to reduce rates 3-6 months ago. So things have changed significantly. And it's just sort of sitting and waiting and see, really. So there's nothing really market moving, anything that Bostic or Daly had to say earlier on. Interestingly, though, in the main news of the day, which was the JOLTS. Remember, JOLTS is the openings and the churn in the market. So job openings for December was significantly lower than expectations and significantly below that key psychological 8 million number. Remember last time? Oh, sorry, I remember last week probably don't. But the key number, or we'd seen for JOLTS when we had a very strong incredibly strong jobs market. We were well over 9 million. There was vacancies kicking around. So these openings have come down relatively significantly, and that is a significant jump, even given in the seasonality of the December numbers. That's quite a significant fall, 400,000. Miss from expectations, although the previous one was upgraded by 100,000 to 8.156 million. Obviously, the part of the 5 mantras that Trump's got elected on, obviously immigration is a key one. So rounding up the lots of illegal immigrants, as he's calling them, and that may have an impact on job availability and workforce availability as well. So it's a lot that's been under the wire, and it's something we've talked about last week, and we've been talking about for a while about the robustness of the US jobs market, which continues to hold up. But the question's starting to swirl around about the level of part-time jobs continues to trend much higher, whereas the full-time jobs are sort of plateauing out and reducing in some areas. So that's a question mark over how strong the job market continues to hold up. So this might be a first flag as well, this 7.6 million. So again, watch that as we go forward. Obviously, we've got the key non-farm payroll on Friday. We've got ADP tomorrow, so see how that fits. We've got the weekly claims, which continue to be flying in the face of that. They continue to show strength. So overall, it's still a jobs market, and it's still the market to to be in, you know, and that's what, hence why, you know, the other parts of the world continue to grow very, very sluggishly. We saw that with the PMIs yesterday in Europe and parts of Asia, and therefore, you know, the dollar continues to be the safe, the preferred currency, and the preferred investment seems to be moving into the US. So that continues to be the case. The other key thing that's come out today is chatter last night about the US trying to create its own sovereign wealth fund. It's something that many countries, many is a bit of an over exaggeration, but some key countries have done very, very well. But you need surpluses. So countries like Norway is a great example in Europe. Saudis, the Kuwaitis, the massive surpluses from oil and gas funds, particularly for those three countries, those three areas. But again, it's a political mindset area. So, but that seems to have been given a bit of a kickoff, looking to invest in growing businesses rather than just sort of seed funding pure research into these things, and then like private equity and private investment drive the business. The government would takes an actual physical stake in them, so it's an equity stake or a bond stake in companies and investments in particular. That's what sovereign wealth funds are, and as I say, those couple of countries I've named, Norway in particular is a big held up as a big gain, and that's helped fund. Well, I mean, completely different political situation in Norway, but that helps fund lots of social services in Norway in particular as well. But yeah, so sovereign wealth fund talked about the US. Where they're going to get the money from, because obviously you've got this enormous debt that just continues to drive. It's just a matter of selling off assets, particularly a bit like Thatcher and Reagan did in the 80s. So we'll see what that happens. So things like Fannie Mac, Fannie Mae, the big mortgage underwriting setups in the US could be sold off, and other assets that the US government holds. So yeah, watch that one as well. That could be another bonfire to come. But see how that goes. So anyway, let's go back to the markets and let's have a look at some trading strategies. The thing I was wanting to touch on tonight. Actually, let's have a quick run through where we are. So lots of volatility in stock markets. We were down incredibly yesterday, but we closed positively. This is the day candle on the Nasdaq. So where are we? Let's forget about the political noise. Where are we? Well, we're still congesting at highs. It's looking relatively okay again, and the earnings data has been coming in, has been relatively positive as well. See what Alphabet, I think it's Alphabet say tonight, yeah. What their numbers come in as well. But what we're seeing with the earnings season so far is, you know, obviously it's been driven by this obsession with AI. It's been driven by the tech companies in particular, but some of the other industries are doing a bit better than many expected. So it's been a relatively good earnings season so far. So you can see here the 50-day moving average here. Let's using the Nasdaq 100 here as an example. Tested below it, we recovered with a bigger candle. Tested below it here, recovered with a bigger candle. Tested obviously below, but I mean the key thing from yesterday was we ended positively. So ultimately, stocks still are looking okay. You know, we're below. We've come down. We've got this sort of wedgie scenario here from the. Sorry, let's just use this as a. Trend line. So obviously our all-time high here over the 200, over the 22,000 level. So that's it. This week, what I'd like to see, or you know, bulls would like to see this break here. So we want to be back over this 21,650 sort of zone here. So that's our upside. That would be our upside target this week for bulls. I want to see a significant sell-off in the stock market, which we haven't seen since the blips in the summer. But that, again, remember the summer is on low volume. We haven't seen a leg down like that for a while. It's obviously this move here during the end of the surprise move into the end of the year and then bought back into July. But we have given up all of 2025 gains so far. So we'd like to see, or hawks that was low would want to see this under 21,000 significantly. So these lows through here at 20,800 on the Nasdaq. See from the summer, July 24, that's a key pivot area. So we need to see that horizontal broken to the downside. We tested it obviously yesterday, but we've bounced from it. So again, stocks overall remain relatively positive, and that's the same. We duplicate that across all the US stocks. So we see that on the got the daily. This is the Dow. Again, sort of into wider sort of consolidation, but it's been more wicked. The industrial stocks were suffering more significant in the second half of December and the early part of January. So again, we've it was only a few days ago we were at all-time highs for the Dow, and there's Friday, there's Monday's recovery. So the Dow, 45,000 to the upside. So that's more bullish than the Nasdaq, and the S&P. Critically yesterday broke back over the key 6,000 handle again. So again, the break to the downside is further away than the break to the upside. So all-time highs over 6,100 is much more of an upside target. So again, if as we continue into the end of the earnings season, we could see stocks bid up to further if the cooling of the dollar continues. Stocks remain biased to the upside. The big news obviously remains on. I'm saying obviously. I'm sure you've already followed it on gold. Gold continues to show the political uncertainty, geopolitical uncertainty, the potential economic uncertainty of everything, and gold hasn't twitched. Gold hasn't twitched at all. What do I mean by that? Well, it's been in a strong trend. It hasn't twitched. It hasn't retraced at all. There are lots of other factors driving the gold market. Some fundamental believers saying that this can't go on, and so we got an all-time high in the last 4 consecutive days, and we've gone again higher today. 28.45 to the upside. And as I say all the time, just because something's high doesn't mean it is going to turn around. And gold continues to track high. So short this at your peril, my friends. But when it does run out of steam, it could run out of steam very, very quickly. Remember what I was saying. In my experience, Tuesdays and Fridays can be particularly volatile for gold. I don't know why. It just happens to be. But we are in a positive season for gold. January, February tends to be relatively positive for gold. A lot of it's around the Lunar New Year. That's coming to an end now. Chinese markets will be back. Been back this week. So, but gold continues to rally to the upside. So bet against this, certainly in the short term, at your peril, my friends. So the 20-day moving average, just to get the technicals, the 20-day moving average is now approaching the 2750 area. And the 50-day now is over this 2670 area as well. So it's well bid, and this has been over its 20-day moving average now for what's that since the 2nd of January. So it's had a fantastic start to 2025. The gold market, as we said many times in January, and the key break was the break of the 2700 here. In mid-January, and that hasn't looked back. You can't see the volatility in the gold market. You can see in some of those forex pairs and the stock indices, can we? So that's we are. Everyone else's other favorite, Bitcoin, is back to the 100,000 level today. We again big volatility. Look at the volatility we saw on Bitcoin yesterday, all the way down to the crucial 92,000 level. I guess there was lots of buyers as soon as we triggered 92,000 yesterday. Again, it was down for a lot of the day, but we turned around very quickly. I've got the 15-minute chart on Bitcoin. This is yesterday here around about early Asian trading. We went under the 92,000, but we came back really aggressively as well. And so far today, we've retaken 100,000 And we're back over it now as literally as I speak here. So 100,000's back for Billy Bitcoin. And again, if we just go back to the daily time frame, we continue to consolidated highs, as I've been saying for a while, with the 95 and the 92,000 levels being key support areas. And we just need to get a bit of a leg up and hold over 100,000 and try and move and take out these previous highs, 108, 105. But Bitcoin of the cryptos remain positive as well. Volatility yesterday. One of the things that was being talked about today about what Xi Jinping and Trump may put on the table was obviously the situation with TikTok in the United States. But as I think I said a few weeks ago, TikTok is one of those global phenomena that is a real sort of a jewel in the crown for the Chinese. So whether they're going to let that go easily, I'm not sure. I can't see that, to be honest. But you know, what do I know? Obviously, it's a private company, but it's a real of all the you know, technologies that's swirling around. They claim that they can rightly claim and ByteDance claim that as uniquely theirs. So we'll see. We'll see where that goes. See if they actually speak tomorrow, Xi Jinping and Trump. So that's Bitcoin, and that's a lot for now. Yeah, so let's just go back to the other thing I was wanting to talk about today, where I'll be chatting for about half an hour now. Let's just, in the last final 10 minutes, let's have a look at what's running with this VWAP setup. I was going to use a different one, so I was going to show this super trend one. So this setup, it's got RSI down here, but it doesn't really use. Don't really use the RSI on this one. This is the green and the red line here is something called the super trend, and it is what it is what it says basically. It is the super trend. It's the maths behind the super trend indicator. I mean, if you're going to name something the super trend, you've got to be like pretty confident about it, I think. And it uses one of my favorite oscillators at the ATR. It uses a mathematical formula based around multiples of the ATR. So it generally gives you a support area about where you want to be. So again, it's useful certainly from the hourly and daily time frames. Very strong. It can be quite a long way away from the price action. We'll come back to that in a minute. But it gives you a sense of, is this thing positive? Is this thing negative? Is it trending? Is it not trending? Okay, so let's just use this on the daily time on Bitcoin, for instance. So red is negative. You look to be short. Price action under the red line, that's negative. Price action above the when it flips from red to green, that's the key thing you want to be looking at. So here it would have gone long here, this particular one, end of day strategy on the 3rd of February. So this is the hourly time frame on Bitcoin. So it would have gone long yesterday at 3 o'clock. This strategy has gone from, it's been short from the 31st of January, and then finally flipped long here. We'll just use this last indicator here. So this is the say super trend. I'm going to bring in the VWAP in a minute. So that's positive. The blue line on here, I've just stuck a moving average on it. You don't have to, but you know, I just like this as a confirmation. So 100-day, 50, 20, pick the one you want. There isn't again, there's no perfect scenarios. I use the 50 on this with the super trend. As I say, I've got the RSI on here. It just happens to be on here. I don't use it on this particular setup. So this is positive, basically. So you want to be looking to go long when we're above the super trend, and we've got an angle on the super trend. So and you see here it's flat, but then it moves down. So short here, short here, add to your short here, add to your shorts here, and then flat, nothing happening, and then it takes you out. So you've got in up here and finally got out here as it's flipped to the upside. Then you've gone long here. this is moving up. So you add to your positions here. I would have last position would have been this strong candle as we were moving up. Probably that green candle there would have actually been the last position, because you can see it's still angling. Got a red candle, so it's all right. I'm not selling. I'm staying flat. And then by here it starts moving down, and it's flattened out. So we either sell after we've had 3 or 4 candles, and the VWAP is the super trend has flattened out. It's gone horizontal, so we quit there. So we'd have got in down here first, second, third, fourth. So we'd have got out at this point. So there were pips in that one at crypto, and then flat. So no additions to this because we're not trending. The VWAP, the super trend is flat. Okay, so even in the last hour, strong candle, but we haven't got any movement up. We need to have a strong move in the trend to actually tweak the super trend. Okay, as you can see here, it was actually moving down here. Here it's overall in this period, it's been relatively flat. Again, you can see here that all of the moving averages done is giving you some sort of support area to, you know, oh well, we know we've come down a bit. Sold out of this long. We're still long. We haven't gone back under it, so it's still biased to the upside and running. So what was the VWAP give us if we then wanted to? So that's the super trend at that 1 hourly time frame. If you've gone down to the 5-minute time frame, which is where the VWAP works out better or is more appropriate, less so that this particular asset. So on this particular setup, if we add the VWAP to this, remember what the VWAP is? It's I don't like that. Change the color. Get yellow. Defaults to blue, so you see the difference. Where's it gone? Okay. Oh, there it is. Recalibrated. There we are. So what does the VWAP bring to the party? Well, to this particular set, not a great deal. It's sort of conflicting with each other, isn't it? But it's further away, so it doesn't. Well, it's not conflicting. It's here on the shorter time. Sorry, I was looking at the 5 minutes. They're in unison, aren't they? So we're under the VWAP, we're under the super trend, and we're under the 50-period moving average. So you want to be short all this period here. The super trend has flicked positive, and we've bounced off the 50-period moving average here. We haven't got back to VWAP yet, so that's you would argue with VWAP that's a weaker buy session. We got back to average here, but we didn't hold it. Now we've come back down. We've chopped around quite significantly here on the news. This is the news at 3 o'clock. The JOLTS news that's moved that Bitcoin there. But what we are doing here, there we go. It's a great example of it all being in unison there. So we were short. We would have had a strong buy on all 3 indicators here about 20 minutes ago. So here, from a 5-minute trader's point of view, everything's in unison there. We've flipped from red to green on the super trend. Here, the 50-period moving average, we were above it, so it was earlier here on the moving average. The super trend was still negative. So first buy there. Certainly that's your strong buy here at 19.10, and off we've ran. Thank you very much. So again, another one, truly stop loss up. I'd have my stop loss here at the moment on this particular asset. What's this? This is Bitcoin. So Bitcoin 100,230 is where my stop loss is. Spread looks a bit meaty, 200 points at the moment. Looks a bit wide. No comment. And the only thing is RSI saying it's a bit overbought, but so what? I don't care. That's a nice move. That even with a 200 point move, we're still in the money on that one. as Bitcoin continues to move 100,800. So that's VWAP on the super trend. The one I use it most for, though, is here with the ATR set. I think we talked about this before, haven't we? So it's Heiken Ashis and the ATR and the parabolic SAR. But again, just concentrate on the VWAP on this one. Let's just go back to the 5 minute. Let's pick a different asset, shall we? There we are. You can see that's the same. Obviously, that's the same setup here. Heiken Ashi candles. Are these Heiken Ashi candles? They're not Heiken Ashi candles. Actually, they're just normal candles. Which bringing Heiken Ashi candles. Heiken Ashi candle was a parabolic SAR, would have gone long there. So a bit like the 50 period moving average, that would have taken you long at 1635. This strategy, no candles to no wick to the south. That's a positive. Might have considered closing out there because it's gone red from green, but we're very small candles, and then that's the big one, as we've just said. As we smacked through the VWAP, we didn't hesitate at it. We broke through it. That's the thing a lot of traders use the VWAP for as well, is probably short positions. If you've been biased short all day like you had here, you might be looking to short that one. It didn't work there. We came back under it. It worked on this point, and we've been, it worked there, it worked there, it worked there. So, it's a rejection of that. It's flipped this time. So it's worked 4 or 5 times today, and this time it hasn't, because it's broken through positive, a bit like it broke through positively there and continues to move. It might come down again like it's done before. But here again, we've got all 4 indicators looking very positive: parabolic SAR, the break of the VWAP, and the Heiken Ashi candles themselves. As I'm speaking, the Heiken Ashi candles have flipped from positive to negative, relatively to green one, but see how long that confirms. So lots of volatility in that one. So, and that's a downward, so that might be enough to take you out. Others might want to get out when we get back to VWAP. So, but again, positive so far on that's Bitcoin in the 5 minutes with the VWAP. So VWAP, it's useful as a pivot point. Useful for setting a resistance level or a support level, depending on either side you are. It's a useful, a bit like a moving average for, like, if you're below it, you want to be taking short positions like we've seen here. They're nice big short here. Ignore these green ones because they're way below it. Just using the VWAP. But again, you never use one indicator in isolation. But I mean, lots of people do think, I get lots of criticism all the time about you've got too many indicators on your chart. How do you know which is which? Well, 2 or 3 is enough for me. Pure price action, traders still have still use some sort of resistance areas, usually horizontal ones. Yeah, so whatever your setup, my friends, don't be afraid to ask about indicators and play with them, see what works for you. But these are the unfortunately, TradeLocker only allow me to have 5 setups. These are my 5 setups I'm currently using at the moment, and the other one here, MACD and the SAR again. Looking for these, it's a trending indicator. So again, if you add the VWAP to this for a further level of confidence or confusion, sometimes there's too many indicators. What's it telling us? Well, again, similar, because it's obviously the Bitcoin. So let's use a different asset. Let's just use Ethereum. Again, you see it's a pivot area here being above it. So it's biased to the upside here, biased to the upside. This strategy, the MACD last crossed here. So that's been positive, and it went over the VWAP. So there's a double cross there, if you like. So it's again another double confirmation. MACD crossed, the parabolic side already flipped much earlier up here, but this strategy is the MACD lines crossing and the parabolic SAR being in unison. So that would have been long and it's taken you long, and that would have got out as that's flipped back down there. So you would have given back a lot on that on the pure MACD parabolic SAR flip, but then you could have gone long again here on that red candle as a parabolic SARS flipped from positive to, sorry, from above to below. So you'd have got in long again there, and that's gone up, and that would have just be looking to close out as that's flipped there again. So again, that's finished flat, and you've given up all of those on there. But VWAP continues to say Ethereum positive to the upside. So anyway, I've talked for too long as usual. Sorry about that. I don't know how many of you are still here, if anybody's still here. But let me just finish with our products. Somebody was chatting on about the express phase, or sorry, the pro phase having consistency rules. There's no consistency rules in our any of our challenges. The most popular is the standard two-step challenge. People in a bit of a rush might want to go for the express challenge. Pro phase, you've got it is aimed at experienced traders. So pays your money, you take your choice. That's what the pro challenge setup. The thank you 15 or 15 thank you 15 is still valid. I was told earlier, so if you want to thank you 15 in there, that's still working today, I've been told. So whatever challenge you want to take, stick that in there. You get a discount on all really well priced challenges anyway. But I say if you want to up your thank you, Katarina, it is valid still. So as I say, I mean, $300 gets you a big account, gets you a $50,000 account. It means you can trade lots of other assets which you might not look at. I mean, I was just looking at the spread on Bitcoin now, sort of caught my eye. So I mean, if you want to trade with that spread as it's currently been, you've got the ability to do that when you have a bigger account. So give it a go, guys. We're here to help you. And if you can't, what I really like about the proptrade.com is if you can't be a disciplined trader, you're not going to get to these. You're not going to get to a funded account because you're going to blow it. You're going to get too aggressive. You're going to get, try and get a winning trade back, because successful traders stay in business because they accept losing, and they are happy to take small gains. Okay, and they build up, and they build up very, very quickly. So there's no. You don't have to be in a huge rush, guys, and 10% profit can be achieved very, very quickly, much quicker than you might anticipate, but not in a couple of trades. That's just gambling. Have a disciplined approach, patience and discipline. And there was a guy in our Discord channels was posting some charts yesterday, quite very successfully as well. And in his, let me just put this up here, in his FX avatar here, it's obviously been around a while, but it's let me show you this. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that, but in his no, you can't see that very well, can you? In the watermark on the charts he's put on, we'll get onto our Discord group, guys, and you can see it for yourself. But he's got patience, discipline, and execution are his key, his 4 key words. I actually said that to him this morning, didn't I? Yeah, all right. I wrote to him this. I wrote to him this morning. I said, "I love your mantra: patience, discipline, and execution." In your 5 journey, when you did discover your edge and settle on your mantra, he hasn't answered me, but I'm sure he will. Yeah, that's the key thing. It's about yourself trading. It's not about listening to guys like me or guys like following guys like FX Avatar or anything I put up on here. What I will finish with is potential trades tonight. We didn't have any end of trade. Well, we did have some triggers. I really wasn't feeling too well again yesterday, and the amount of volatility, I just decided we'd had a good Monday. We banked quite a lot of pips on that cable move and the Japanese index yesterday. But at the moment, let me, I'll put this up on the Discord group. The day isn't over. Obviously, I've got a CAD Swiss trade potentially, pound CAD Swiss trade, and the sterling, as I mentioned earlier. So cable is looking to go long tonight on my strategy. I'm looking for 125.32 as a potential target. I might actually put that on in the next few minutes, actually. So sterling looking to cable, looking to go long. Pound CAD, interestingly though, is looking to go short. So there's a conundrum, but up from 178.65, 178.14. So I'm looking about 50 pips on that as well. So pound CAD short, pound dollar long, and CAD Swiss actually long as well. So yeah, sorry, so two long loony trades, CAD against the Swiss and CAD against sterling, and sterling positive though against the dollar is what my little strategy is telling me at the moment. But today isn't finished yet. The more aggressive end of day strategy has just got the pound yen also long. That looks a bit, don't know, we've already 192, 50 pips in that, or 40 pips in that potentially. But as I said, 34 pips a day, they soon add up, my friends. So anyway, I'll tell you what I've done later on tonight on this Discord group. So do have a look at it. If you're thinking of joining us, come along. We're here to help, as I say. And challenges start from a ridiculous $55. This is the pro one. So standard one is $55. Express one is also $55. You want a one step or a two step step, it's still only $55. You can still take 15% off that with the thank you 15 code. So enjoy, my friends. Tomorrow we'll be live again around about 7 o'clock. We've got ADP tomorrow, but we'll do this all again tomorrow and see what our trades tonight are doing as well. So take care, have a safe evening, and we'll see you all again tomorrow. All the best, everyone. Bye bye.